Hey everyone, it's Argonath here from Return of the Fan, and Doctor Who Flux, the latest season of Doctor Who has just finished, and I'm sure you're aware if you're a fan of Doctor Who, or not a fan as the case may be, um, but the ratings have just crumbled completely um, by the end of Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker's run. So let's have a read of this and then we can look at the actual figures. And then we'll see if Russell T Davies will be the saviour to bring Doctor Who back to its glory days. Doctor Who Flux ratings revealed as figures drop for finale. The latest numbers suggest a dip in viewership compared to the previous series. Not just a dip, pretty bad. The ratings have been released for the final episode of Doctor Who Flux, revealing that live viewership declined again after enjoying a slight boost with the penultimate chapter 1 week earlier. Unlike other series of modern Doctor Who, Flux told a single serialised story across 6 episode run as opposed to featuring self-contained adventures for the Doctor and her companion. So this has been kind of a feature of the Chibnall era. There's kind of been a story that goes across the whole series, and especially the very last one. It's been just complete one particular story. The only problem with that is if your story is bad to begin with, then you can't save it in the later episodes because it's just carrying on the same story. Whereas at least if you have self-contained episodes, if you have one bad episode, at least people know that maybe the next one will be quite good. But if it's the same story going through and you don't like the story at the beginning, then it's just going to be a massive problem. The final entry in the series attracted a live audience of shy of 3.6 million, a decline of roughly 200,000 people from the previous week's strong showing, and even that wasn't that strong, but the episode could yet come out with a better consolidated number, and I'll have these figures in a minute. For context, the consolidated rating combines live viewership with people who watched via recording or catch-up service in the 7 days after the initial broadcast. So I've got the actual figures in a nice spreadsheet, which is here. Right, so we can see that at the start of season 13 here, it started off with 5.81 million, so this is the UK ratings. Then it went down to 5.13, 4.7 million, 4.57 million, 4.83 million, slight uptick, and then it drops for the last episode. Now, you would have thought that the last episode would have been the most popular out of the season because it's the end of that season. It's tying everything together. People want to know what's going to happen to the Doctor at the end. But that's not happened, right? It's the second lowest episode out of the whole season, which is pathetic. And we can look at the trend by looking at this graph here. And we can see that at the beginning of the Chibnall run, it started with well over 10 million, close to 11 million viewers. And just look at the downward trend as the Chibnall era and the Jodie Whittaker era has progressed, going all the way down to the end of... oh, it doesn't include the last ones. Let me just add that in. So put those ones into there so we can see that trend as well. And we can see that we end up with this episode here, which is almost the lowest that's ever been in the Chibnall Jodie Whittaker run. But just a massive trend downwards all the way, right? Couple of bumps for some good episodes, but pretty much it's pretty bad. So the only thing to come are the specials, which looks like they're going to be pretty bad as well. Although who knows, because there will be guest doctors appearing and so on, so that could make it better. So from the start of the Whittaker Chibnall era, close to 11 million, it's dropped down to 4.6 million. So that's the consolidated figure that includes all the people that stream and so on. So you've lost over half of your audience during your 3 seasons. How pathetic is that? That's absolutely incredible. Completely destroying the Doctor Who fan base. So well done, Jodie Whittaker. Well done, Chris Chibnall. You've done an awesome job in destroying the series that you've been promoting and wanting to make better. So the big hope is that Russell T Davies is coming back to Doctor Who for season 14 onwards, and apparently he's been given creative control which means the BBC does not have any creative control on the show at all, but yeah, they probably have some influence, I guess. But it's being bankrolled by Russell T Davies company, and I think Sony has bought them out. So basically Sony is controlling the Doctor Who franchise now. So I've got an article about this. So Stephen Moffat, Russell T Davies have discussed fantastic plans for Doctor Who's future, but there are still no clues on who will be the next Doctor. Screenwriter Stephen Moffat has discussed Russell T Davies' shock return to Doctor Who, teasing big things in the next era of the long-running sci-fi drama. Well, Russell T Davies, unless you completely retcon the timeless child out of the Doctor Who canon, you're still going to have massive amounts of fans not coming back to the show, because basically the Doctors have no meaning now. Who was the first Doctor? Are they actually the first Doctor? No, they're not the first Doctor anymore, because basically there's been thousands of Doctors before him. So it's completely destroyed the mythos of Doctor Who, and fans just don't like that at all, and you can see that from the viewership. You didn't need to explain the origins of Doctor Who, because that's the whole point of Doctor Who. We didn't know about him. That's what made him so mysterious and awesome. So you need to retcon that, Russell T Davies, if you want to get your fans back. Davies resurrected the dormant property back in 2005, passing the baton to Moffat 5 years later, who subsequently left it in the hands of Broadchurch creator Chris Chibnall, who absolutely destroyed the viewership of Doctor Who. Following a decline in viewership during the recently concluded flux, it is hoped that Davies' involvement will take the show back to the giddy heights it achieved during his first tenure, but Moffat admits the development took him by surprise. I had no idea Russell was going to do that. He told me the night before he sent an email, and I read it. I was just coming home from a restaurant and thought, is that real? I'll see if this email is still there in the morning. Praising his friend and collaborator, Moffat said he's the single best writer in television drama, and he wants to do Doctor Who again. Great news for Doctor Who, only if he retcons everything that Chris Chibnall put in there. When quizzed on who could take over from the outgoing Jodie Whittaker, the screenwriter refused to throw his support behind any one actor, saying that he hopes to be surprised by whoever Davies settles on. It needs to be a male, not some sort of trans person, not some sort of non-binary person. Needs to be a guy, and keep that going. That's the whole point of Doctor Who. I'd given up on the fancy of Doctor Who casting. I did it twice for real, the only difference being an ex-showrunner makes to my fandom, as it were, is that I don't play at it. I've done that, so I'm fascinated to know who's cast. Alright, so yeah, interesting times. We'll have to just wait and see what happens with Russell T Davies, but I'm certainly not holding out hopes that he's going to retcon anything, but if he does, then that will be pretty awesome to the fan base. Let me know what you think of Doctor Who's ratings. Were you surprised, or did you think this is the way it's going to be going? And are you happy for Russell T Davies to be coming back to Doctor Who as well? So let me know what you think in the comment section. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, you're welcome, give it a thumbs down. And if you like my content, please subscribe as well. Anyway, that's it for now. Hopefully I'll catch you in the next video.